All right. So this is the second stream of today, and I don't know if it's because I had a high dose of caffeine today after like a week long fast. Hey, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thank you, Opal. God bless you. And as I said on the last stream at the very beginning, per usual, even though it's been a long time since I've been able to say this with the most genuine sentiment, blessings and love to all you guys and girls, in advance. And as always, the red carpet will always be rolled out for you, every single one of you. Opal, thanks for being here. I want to assume that at some point that twist will pop up and be here, and including everybody else who usually stops by. But I wanted to have, and let me type it in. Um, I wanted to have a fun, healthy, uh, debate, and hopefully have people participate, whether it be from the live chat or people who want to want to come on stage and have that conversation with me, because I think it is a very crucial, important conversation to have, and it's an important topic to have because, and I think I kind of sort of highlighted a little bit of this in the last stream, because it has to do with the fact that when you have good godly women and good godly men putting the brakes on relationships, giving themselves a chance or an opportunity to actually give love a chance and give a relationship a chance. It's one of the big factors that's going to pretty much be taking effect into the reason of why, along with many other factors, um, the human population will come to a downslope, moving forward. Because, like I said in the last stream, there's a lot of factors of why this is going to happen. But um, realistically, one of the factors is Bible prophecy. It says that uh, the hearts of many will grow cold, right? People will become lovers of themselves, etc. So you're gonna have people having relationships and marriages with AI robots, right, or just humanoid robots in general. You're gonna have people, which has already happened in the past, marrying themselves, right, marrying their pets, marrying the lamp, their tree in the backyard. Um, and so along with that, because that's like regular society that doesn't have God and doesn't have Christ in them, right? But then on the other side, you're gonna have people that are in Christ and are godly people like myself that just also do still have, for whatever reason, whether it be personal experiences, whether it be traumatic experiences, struggles, battles that we deal with on a daily basis, which we're gonna have our hearts will grow cold. Meaning, it's kind of like we'll have a standstill for whatever reason, and that is where I'm at personally at the moment. Um, and I'll re-explain my personal reason of why I'm currently just not going to give anyone a chance moving forward. It's very fairly simple, and those of you who want to go back to the other stream and get like a longer a longer explanation, you can do that too. But basically and essentially, I'm someone who is quick to forgive. I'm a highly forgiving, merciful person in general, in my natural state. And so, my personal experience has been with females that um, it's not the same with them. And I'm sure, I'm positive that there are females out there that are as forgiving as I am, and potentially even more. But because this past and last experience has been as traumatic and as powerful as it was in my personal life, where um, there was no compromise of meeting me at a certain point, and wanting to restart, refresh, and just start rebuilding again. It led me to a state of mind where if the very best person that I know um, wasn't able to meet me there, and she was the best of the best in my opinion and in my mind, and that I personally got to know. If the very best one couldn't do it, then there's little to no chance that I'm gonna actually come across any other female woman who will. So, if that's the case, then I'm good. I'm better off by myself, all alone, and it is what it is. Um, but that's my personal reason. A lot more goes to it than what I'm saying right now, but essentially that's my personal reason. But I want to know what you guys have to say and think about this, because it is going to play a part moving forward in whether or how many people moving forward are going to still have that desire to have kids, have children, have a marriage, have a godly household, a godly home, to kind of combat the filth and the sad, sick, twisted mainstream society that will be evolving and well, devolving moving forward. And I just wanted to have a good conversation about this, because I do believe it will play a big part. And it won't be the only thing we'll be talking about. We'll touch, um, we'll talk about other topics along the way throughout the stream. But I am curious to see what people have to say about this. Um, uh, um, Brother Red, Brother Red, welcome, welcome. Blessings and love to you, sir. Good to have you here. Um, because these, yeah, and you know what's funny? Now that you brought that up, yeah, I mean it's true, and it goes both ways. Let's not put the blame on one side. Both sides have that, right. Uh, sure. I'm not gonna say, I don't know, someone from, I guess, thank you. I don't even know if that's a bot or a real person. It looks like a bot to me, but who knows? I don't even use Twitch like that, but I do try to, put the stream on Twitch. But so I am gonna pull something up while more people join the stream, and something that I saw recently, that in Texas and in Daytona Beach, um, there was like a huge jump in numbers of like STDs um, over spring break. Uh, Houston, Texas. It had to be Houston of all places. Okay, dang. Okay, dang. I'm gonna try to bring this over to the thing over here. All right, so while I set something else up real quick, I'm gonna throw the screen up here so that people can kind of get this real quick and read it. Um, I know there's some numbers missing here, but we'll get to it in a second. But while I set up other stuff that I want to set up, I want everyone to read a little bit of this and just give me a second. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Like 1 minute, 2 minutes tops. Um, and just take a moment to just take this information in. I know I'm forgetting something. I'm forgetting like music in the background. That's what it is. Um, yeah. Let's bring this down a notch. 10. Okay. I'll be back in a minute, y'all. Don't go anywhere. God dang it, man. I should have appealed something that happened over here. Oh Lord. All right. Okay. I have a mess with so many cables just everywhere. Headphones, other crap. All right. Anyways. All right. So I'm gonna try to read this super fast and bring some other information into this, but essentially, it says reports from March 2026 indicate a significant surge in sexually transmitted diseases, STDs, in Houston, Texas during the spring break season, with local health experts and social media reports highlighting a sharp rise in infections. Uh, and here goes the numbers. So for syphilis, it surged 79% from 2025 to 2026. Gonorrhea and chlamydia increased by 32%. HIV cases are up 17%. Um, Transmission hotspots is Montrose, downtown OST, and South Union areas were identified as high risk, primarily affecting individuals aged between 15 years old and 35. Viral reports emerged of individuals testing positive for numerous STDs after visiting Houston for the spring break holiday, leading to warnings to check on health. Calls for surge. The increase is linked to high density social gatherings, parties, and the one night in Houston trend, prompting warnings for those who engage in unprotected sex to seek testing. High attendance. Houston has become a major spring break destination with over 2 million travelers passing through local airports in March 2026. There was like another number that I wanted to bring up. It was like close to 50,000 people or something like that. Uh, Here, let me try that again. Oh, here we go. 42,000. Okay. Here, let's use this page instead, I guess. Okay. Yeah, I know. I agree, that twist. This is not exactly what I wanted to share per se, but it does have the numbers. So I guess we'll take a listen to this real quick.
Rooted got the rooted all that. What you ain't no wheels. You done came back home with that shit. It's been reported that over 42,000 people have been affected with some serious STD. Y'all better go out there to the clinic right now. And with that Obamacare, you know we got Obamacare. Go with Obamacare to the clinic right now and get checked out. Check this out.
Roughly 3 million people went out to Houston for spring break. A bunch of those people had unprotected sex. A bunch of those people contracted HIV, chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis. Syphilis rates are up 79%. A bunch of those people will go home thinking that they got out safe. They're clean. They will think that for months or even years. They won't get tested thinking that they have nothing. They'll have 2, 3, 9, or 10 partners. And those people will have 2, 3, 9, or 10 partners. And those people will go on to have 2, 3, 9, or 10 partners. Suddenly, there's hundreds of thousands of people with HIV, syphilis, chlamydia, gonorrhea. America is about to experience a full-blown STD epidemic. You deserve to have fun. You deserve to explore the field. You deserve to explore yourself and your desires. But the more active you are, the more responsible you are. You have to go get tested. You have to have that awkward MyChart conversation, and you have to verify that it's true. Because now people are editing their MyCharts. Starting this past week, every time you scratch that itch, you are running the risk of being the next person with AIDS. If your partner went to Houston this past week, go get tested. If you plan on hooking up with someone in the upcoming weeks, ask for their MyChart. It goes for everyone, every gender, male or female. We are all human, and we all need to be taking care of the one body that the universe gave us.
What?
All right, I'm gonna stop right there. The universe. All right. So a few things that I want to touch on. So she said, "Oh, you deserve to have your fun. You deserve to, explore and this and that." No, you don't. You don't. You have the freedom to. Everybody has that free will and freedom to do so. Sure, of course. However, this is why God intended sex for marriage. Unadulterated, unexperienced, unused, because there's zero chance of getting any infection or disease if both parties come into that moment together like brand new, fresh. So a lot of people they will complain, oh, God, God has so many rules and so many this and that, and God doesn't want us to have fun, and God doesn't want us to experience life, and he listen, bro. And I know I've talked about this in the past with Geeko and other people. We've had like similar conversations, but these are the moments where people need to realize and come to the smart, educated, common sense conclusion that there's reasons why God, has asked us and ordered us to do things a certain way. This is why, people need to come into marriage, on both sides, not just the guy, not just the female, on both sides, as virgins. You know what I mean? Now, I'm aware that because of free will, that's not exactly where people's like minds and heads and desires are. Yeah, exactly. Ask Sodom how it worked out for them. But the reality is, when both parties come into a marriage as virgins, right? Never been with anybody, no body count, right? 0 body count. You're not going to have these issues. This wouldn't exist if it weren't because of promiscuity. You know what I mean? The STDs and all that exist because of promiscuity. You know, that freedom that people like to talk about and brag about, and I want to, have my fun. I want to do this and that. Well, because of that fun and because of that freedom and because of that, promiscuity and all that, this is where STDs come from. People wanting to have fun with multiple different people and have experience. And listen, man, if it were up to me and I could turn back the hands of time and protect my virginity and still have it, I would do so. Like it was not worth losing my virginity to not be able to, just to say, I've had the experience. I really wish I could. Sometimes I wish I could cuss. I don't care, bro. I personally do not care about how experienced you are, how experienced I am. The whole point of marriage and sex and all that is to discover everything together as a couple, as a team. That's the whole point. Like, experience doesn't matter. Like if you're in it with that person, you're gonna discover everything with that person. And it's even more beautiful that way if you think about it. Yeah, exactly. But anyways, I'm bringing this up because I think on TikTok I even mentioned it or put a post up or whatever, where I was kind of like, I wasn't making fun of anybody, but I was making the point where I'm like, I'm glad I can sleep in peace every night, knowing that I don't mess around with anybody. I'm not promiscuous. I haven't had any intimacy for over like 3 years or something like that. And even back then when it did happen, it was like little to none, like barely existent, and it was like the biggest mistakes I had ever made. You know what I mean? Um, and if I could take it back and undo it, I would, because it was the dumbest thing that I had allowed. But it's been like 3 years plus that I haven't done anything with anybody, right? And so I'm over here like thinking to myself, like, if people only knew the peace of mind that they would have if they would just keep to themselves, if they would just, it really isn't that hard. When you really sit down and think about it, it really is not that hard to like keep to yourself and mind your business. And like if you're having certain urges or whatever, I'm not condoning anything specific. You know what I mean? I would never condone other stuff. But hey, take a cold shower. I don't know, go for a run, work out, eat something. I don't know. There's other ways of redirecting those urges and converting it into like something else. Now, I know that's not something. I know it's something easier said than done sometimes, right? And even for myself, coming from a background where I've had a past of certain addictions, dealing with this matter and topic, and so I will understand some people, but even still, then the peace of mind that comes with knowing that you're not messing around, knowing that you're not out there, um, just quote unquote having fun and exploring your freedom and all that. And you can like sleep at night knowing that because you're not out there being promiscuous and being dumb, you can sleep at peace. It's so much better. It's so much better. So I just wanted to briefly talk about that as more people come into this. I don't know who all is here, but whoever is here, so I am gonna start back up the actual conversation at hand. I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what the live chat has to say. Um, I want to see what everybody's opinions are on this topic. Again, like I said before, I have my own personal reasons of why I'm currently not going to pursue anything anytime soon. But I know there's different sides and different perspectives and different reasons for, why maybe some people might have um, make a different decision or have a different perspective or feedback on the topic. I've already expressed mine. I don't know if anybody wants to come on here with me and have that conversation, and kind of just give me your reasons if you are a man or woman of God. Why, like, if you are going to pursue a relationship with somebody or whatever, um what is helping you and motivating you to still do so in today's society, and if you're not, what's holding you back from doing so, right? But yeah, I mean, while we wait for people to interact and all that, I just wanted to, I had to bring up the whole Houston thing because it's not funny, but at the same time, it kind of sort of is, because it's like people. Number one, it should never be a thing to where people are just getting STDs left and right. It should not be so easily for it to happen, right? Um, but you know, it's like a reflection of how barbaric and animalistic and unhinged people are. Like that's how bad people cannot control themselves. As far as like their sexual impulses and all that. You know, and it's sad. I don't want to like mock it, and I don't want to laugh about it because I don't want to laugh at people getting diseases. It sucks. It does. But you put yourself in a position, you put yourself in a situation where you made it possible for it to happen to begin with. You know what I mean? So this is why God warns us and says, do not do this outside of marriage. Do not, if people, it's another good example. If people were to follow what God asks of them or warns them about, we would be a lot better off. But people want to, abuse their free will and do what they want, do what thou wilt. And that's where all these things come from. Yeah, I'm right there with you, bro. Like, I'm right there with you. There was, and don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Do not get me wrong. It's in my heart, deep in my heart, and the bottom of my heart and soul. Do I still desire a wife and a family and kids and all that? Yes, of course I do. Of course. But hey, if I'm not gonna find that person that's gonna meet me at the same place as far as like forgiveness and patience and all these important things go, then no thanks. No thanks. I can do completely fine by myself at that point. If I cannot find or meet someone who can meet me at the same level of forgiveness and so many other things. I don't know, bro. I don't know anymore. I don't know about this right here, and it's sad because once again, I'm someone who, when I'm in a committed, formal relationship and all that, I have so much to give, and that's someone. There's the person I was with for 4 years that I co-lived with for 4 years. They can tell anybody just how awesome of a partner I am and can be when in an actual situation where I'm given the opportunity to show what I can do. One of my exes has nothing but great things to say about me, and that's not me. I'm not boasting and I'm not bragging about myself. I'm just saying, when I'm in a position where it's a formal thing, like a official formal thing. And I'm given that chance and opportunity to prove how much I can express my love for my partner and be, that loyal, loving, caring, appreciating man that I'm called to be. You know, there's literally nothing bad that that girl, that female, that woman that I was with for 4 years living together, there's nothing that she'll say like bad of me. You know what I mean? That's the thing though, bro. That's the thing, is that, like I said earlier, my most recent uh ex was, and you know who I'm talking about. Everybody here knows who I'm talking about. You know, she was the most godly woman that I had ever met personally in my entire life. And yet, you know, not gonna get into it, but when it came down to it, and it came to being at that crossroads of, like, asking each other, you know, are you still the person I want to end up with? Are you still the person that I still want a family and kids and a home with? If that is the case, then this thing that happened, let's bury it. Let's bury it. Start fresh, start anew, start over, and give this another chance. That was never, that never happened. That never was a conversation, or if it was, there was no meeting me where I needed to be met for that to take place. You know what I mean? And so if that woman, who to me was the the most Christ-like, most Christian woman that I had the pleasure and honor to experience and be with, if she couldn't meet me there, she couldn't meet me at a place where we could say, let's bury this, start fresh and start over anew, and give this another chance, right? Because I still see you as the father of my kids, or I still see you as, the husband that I want to see and wake up to every day. If she couldn't meet me there, and she was the best of the best in my opinion and in my experience, then that's it. I mean, there is no point in attempting that with anyone else. Period. You know, I don't know. Maybe, but for now, I'm just not seeking anyone or anything with anyone moving forward. You know, it's very simple. Like, to me, it's there's no one else but her. I guess. I mean, as a possibility, that's a possibility. But for me, it really is as simple as, I don't see anybody else being my wife but her. I don't see myself having kids with anyone but her. Like, I don't see myself waking up every day to anyone else but her, you know? And it really is that simple and easy for me. Like, it literally is just her and, like, nobody else, you know? And it's sad, because I know people out there will hear that and say, oh, she's not the only woman in the world. There's other fish in the sea. There's other females and women that are just as good, if not better. Listen, man, it wouldn't be love if I could just easily change my mind and be like, yeah, you're right. There could be somebody else, or, there might be someone just as good, if not better. It wouldn't be love if I could just switch my mind like that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm in love with this person. I'm in love with this woman. And so my mind, my heart, and soul cannot see anyone else but her as my wife. No, I know, and you're right, and this is exactly why I've been on the journey that I've been for the past, realistically, for over a year now. But I guess if I were to pinpoint it more specifically, the past few months, um, I've focused on just continuing to develop my relationship with God and making that primary thing. I just came off of a 1 week fast, and that helped a lot. Um, feelings are feeling because we can't control them. Team America, heck yeah, America, but yeah. But yeah, you're right, and that is a slippery slope and a very delicate matter. A lot of people can and might um, make a person their idol, and that's not good either. And I rebuke that thought. I rebuke at any point in time me making anybody, even her, an idol. I rebuke that, and I pray and hope I would never fall into that. You know, God is the God of my life. God is number one in my life, and the fact that I'm trying to, talk about this is because I want God to work in people and through people, on this topic. I do hope and pray for God to heal people like myself, right? People going through something similar or worse, so that they can be of the mindset of being hopeful again. But um I don't even know. Oh, this sucks, yo. This really sucks. Okay. Let me let me do something real quick on this other platform, because okay, I need to redo this because yeah. Um yeah, okay. Let's try this again. I'm trying to fix something on TikTok because I don't like how TikTok sometimes like restricts certain things, and it's really frustrating because uh there's no point, there's no reason why there should be a restriction on certain streams, but here we are. For those of you stopping by through the TikTok stream, I appreciate it. Thank you in advance. And yeah, this hopefully some of y'all are able to participate. And even though like I'm gonna be like, looking back and forth between TikTok live and YouTube, I'm gonna try my best to look at people's like comments or messages or whatever. But I'm human, so if I miss something, I do apologize in advance. Um, but yeah, I hope a lot of people are able to join this debate and and participate. Just gotta okay, just because I think it's a good topic. It's an important topic to talk about. I'm gonna wait a few seconds because I know like in a few seconds, for whatever reason, TikTok Live is going to bring up some type of like weird restriction prompt or whatever, and then I have to either just allow it, and then they'll like shadow ban the stream, or I can try to appeal it or whatever. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. Like I don't even know why it happens sometimes, but whatever. Um, Realm. Oh snap! Yes, yes. Prayer and fasting are powerful, and that's why people were asking me why I was fasting. I'm like, well, primarily, you know, I want to get closer to God. So the primary reason was the spiritual reason, but also along with that, I wanted to like restart my metabolism. Good to see you too. Good to see you too, Round. It's been a while. I think you have a different profile pic and everything. I remember you had a different, like a green and blue type swirl. I don't know if it was like the Northern Lights or something. Um, but you completely changed your thumbnail, Round. And I think you had a different name too. It wasn't like Round Runner or something like that. Um, and like if it is the person I'm thinking of, because it could maybe it's not the same person. But if it is, then yeah, you've changed the profile pic and username. Yeah. I mean, no, I have a terrible memory, but because you used to be like a what do you call it, like a regular on my streams, I remember that. Yeah, but no, I have a terrible memory. Don't get me wrong. Like I have the worst memory. Like I would not count on myself in my memory. You're just lucky that I saw you here so many times. It's hard to forget. But but yeah, we're having this fun discussion and fun debate, and I'm really hoping to get more people on here so that the chat can interact more. Matter of fact, Round, or I'm just gonna say Runner because that's how I remember you. uh, put type in the live chat. Type in the live chat. Are you someone who? Because I don't know if you're married. I don't know if you have a partner. I don't know if you're like me, where like you're single or whatever. But I guess give us your opinion on why potentially good godly men are not currently seeking women um, as much in today's society. What could potentially be a few reasons of why we've kind of like put on brakes of like, nope, I'm going to hold off or whatever. It could be anything. I already gave my reason, but just because it's my reason doesn't necessarily mean that it's the reason. So, oh my God, the government conning the women into voting and paying taxes started us now. Yeah, I mean that's part of it. That's like a broader, larger reason of why. But I guess I guess I'm looking for like a more immediate, current reason of why. You know, but I mean that is the beginning of chaos. I guess. um, Brother Red already gave his opinion, and it was a good one, but it's not a one-sided. It's not like a straightforward reason because both sides are, hoes. But yeah, I'm trying to. I don't know. I don't know if y'all need to like share this forward with other people or whatever. But I would love to see what you guys have to say on this matter. I'm very curious. And don't get me wrong, we'll tackle other topics along the way throughout the stream. This stream won't be solely dedicated on this topic. Um, Still made to die in paper. Oh God, these are, I mean, these are good stuff and good reasons. Body counts and getting blamed for everything, but still made to die and pay for everything. I forgot there was something else I was gonna bring up, and I totally forgot what it was. Definitely not that. Okay. Oh, that's the other thing I was gonna say. Um, is some people they'll wait for like Holy Week or a week after Holy Week to try to commit to like some type of like fast or something. I wasn't even thinking about Holy Week. I literally just kind of like told myself, I felt it in my gut and I felt it in my soul, like, hey, maybe I should do a fast. It's been a long time since I did one, and I want to see, you know, what can come from it, what God can do from this fast, and how long I could go for, and how much I can actually sacrifice within the fast to see what God can do. You know. Okay, that's hey. It's not a okay. So it says, runner says, us Christian men don't want modern women without virtue or chastity, and that's kind of like what I was hinting at earlier when I was talking about the Houston, Texas spring break STD epidemic. You know, I sleep so peacefully, like knowing that I'm not out there being promiscuous. I don't touch nobody. I don't be with nobody. Like I don't nothing. I'm to myself. I'm a homebody. I am a homebody. I have always been a homebody. You know, there's been very few little instances where I have sadly allowed myself to fall prey to a small bit of promiscuity, like in recent years. But I never made it into a habit. It was never like it was never like a casual thing. It was never like a usual common thing for me to like allow myself to like be in it. The moments that it did happen, it really was kind of like because I was worn down over time, and it wasn't just like, oh, I just want to do this, and just because I want to, and because I can't help myself. And no, this is why I said what I said in the last stream. There's a difference between recognizing when it's our fault, right, for putting ourselves in certain situations, and not blame the devil, because the devil doesn't have all the fault. But a lot of people will use that and say, yeah, we're always the ones at fault because we have the responsibility to decide whether we do or don't do certain things. And while that is true, there's another factor that comes into play, and it's like, okay, but how long have you said no? For how long have you said no to a temptation or sin, right? Days, weeks, months, years, till finally that sin or temptation has worn you down to a point where it's like you fell off and like fell, and you committed the sin or the mistake or whatever because of being worn down over time. It's the same example that I gave with a stone rock in a mineral being broken down and cracked by drops of water. You know what I mean? Something can be so strong for for only an amount of time before it cracks under a certain consistent, persistent pressure of something else, right? So with me, the times that it's happened, which have been little to none, but it has always been because of like a persistent, consistent wearing down of me over time. But even now in retrospect, I have taken myself out of the the possibility of that even happening. So now I've been in a place for about 3 years now, or if not a little more, where I can peacefully say I have nothing to worry about as far as like STDs or whatever, because I'm a homebody. I don't mess with nobody. I don't, there's no promiscuity in me. That's not my desire. That's not the way I think. That's not the way I feel. I believe in waiting, for marriage. I believe in not celibacy. abstinence. You know, I believe in all these things that help protect our bodies and protect our spirit and protect ourselves overall. I believe in these things, you know, like chastity or uh, abstinence, right? Waiting until marriage. I believe in all that stuff. That is my core belief. That is what I have always believed in, and what I'll always believe in. Period. No one can change my mind about that. No one can tell me, oh, there's nothing wrong with. No. Yes, there is something wrong with allowing certain things, because those certain things are the same things that can lead into bigger things, which can lead into potential, infirmities, diseases, and all that. So, yeah, to me at least, it's very important to like leave that and save that for marriage. Um, and I know that's not the popular opinion or whatever, but that's what I've always believed in. That's what I'll always believe in, period. And no one can convince me otherwise. Those few to little times that I've sadly allowed things to happen in the past, again, was because of being worn down over time. It wasn't like same day, same like thing, like, oh, I just met you today, let's do this. No, never have I ever been that way. Never will I be that way, period. And all I can say is, like, people need to rethink a lot of things in their lives and just follow God's warnings. All right, see, I'm gonna appeal the prompt. Yeah, see, I knew it. And I the prompt that I told you guys about the live stream being restricted on TikTok, it happened. So now I gotta appeal it. Let's see what happens here, because this is bull crap. All right. I don't know. There's people here. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know if. Okay, whatever. Hopefully, they accept my appeal. Because if they don't, I don't get it. and I'll never understand. It'll never make any sense to me. But anyways, those of you who are in the live chat on TikTok, I'll appreciate any love and support I can get from any one of you. So thank you in advance, and yeah, share it forward. I don't know. Anyways, to my YouTube people, let me hide this. Okay. Feminism goes away fast on sinking boats or house. But anyways, man, I had like a bunch of tabs opened up just for this reason alone, and I don't know why. I don't know why. Anyways, let's see where I can find mine. Okay, there we go. All right, yeah. Runner, God bless you. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Thanks for interacting. Thanks for chatting. I appreciate it. And for those new people, new viewers here, do not leave. I promise you, this is a great conversation we're having here. We're having lots of fun. We're having a very stimulating conversation. Yeah. TikTok is always surprising Jesus and great conversations. So, but it is what it is. Yeah. So if you're new in the live chat, just put the comment in the live chat section, and answer as best as you can. And this goes for both, men and women, male or female. Why potentially some godly women or godly men have stopped seeking, a potential partner in this current societal status that we're in right now, like current society. And while I allow the new viewers to type something in the live chat, I am gonna try my best to share a screen. Man, if I can, you know what? Here, let's play a little bit more of this of this video while we wait for people to respond, because I know there's a few new people in here and they haven't said anything yet, but we're gonna be patient and we're gonna hear a little bit more of this.
I probably, of course, get fired, but the New World Order, the big brother cannot have any human influence, because there's still people out there, even Democrats, who don't agree with some of the stuff that the government's trying to push, right? There's still some individuals who are teachers who might be like, I don't believe in this climate change stuff, or I don't believe in it. They need it all controlled so that every single thing that the child is taught is what they want them to be taught. So human involvement is a problem, because some humans might refrain from teaching some of the things the government wants, whether it's the lies, whether it's the propaganda, whether it's the LGBTQ stuff, sexualizing the classroom. The AI control gives them full control over the curriculum. And of course, it gets children to trust in their tech at a young age. It gets children to trust in the robotics. And then you start talking about transhumanism, the merging of man and machine, which is what this end game is really all about. And then we're talking Mark of the Beast. But this here is what the World Economic Forum has been playing for a couple of years. So I'm going to play this clip about AI education, AI in the classroom, what they've wanted. And think about this in terms of what we just saw with Melania Trump walking out of the robot, which is just insane that we're even, okay with this going on, right? Coming out and then saying how kids will have better lives and how NBC told you robots are here to stay. There's nothing you can do about it. Well, there is something we could do about it. Actually, we could rise against it. We can get EMP weapons and short circuit these things, but none of that will happen, because everybody views the human of the opposite political ideology as the enemy and not the technology. But think about that stuff when you watch this clip, and then realize that all these stories you've heard that the government is allowed inside the schools, where there's guys with criminal records for being predators who are allowed to go into library, all done by design. Your government has done this deliberately to make you not trust the school system, which you shouldn't have trusted from the first place, and to want your kids raised a different way. And you can't raise them, right? Because because they made the economy so bad, they made it so hard to live. Husbands and wives both have to work, which is, again, a part of women's empowerment, was getting moms out of the household because they didn't want moms raising their kids, which is why they
got Too Sweet in the house on TikTok. Let me just go over here. What's going on, brother? I don't know if you're still here or not, but if you are still here, God bless you. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate the support. Yeah, I know there's like some level of restriction on my stream on TikTok, but I guess if you can help share it forward, I'll appreciate it. If you are still here, if not, disregard. But anyways, I'm like back and forth between TikTok and YouTube. Okay, sorry about that, guys. My apologies.
frown upon the homemakers. All you hear about is, that's so chauvinistic. Women teaching their kids, women raising their kids, women staying home. They should be allowed to work. Who in the world wants to go to work? You want to go sit in a cubicle all day? Well, they convince you that it's you being even with a man. There's no more important job than a mother. But they've told you it's the least important job, that it's actually not a job, that it's to be looked down upon. Why? Because the state wants to raise your kids. So that's part of, obviously, women's empowerment, which I've talked about for years, is, women getting sucked into this, and then they're going to work, even though the husband makes enough money to support the family. They're both going to work. They're sending their kid to school because they're told that that's normal. And now they're all confused about it because they're like,
by the way, I know I already said this, but for anyone new in the live stream, the reason I'm playing this video, but the stream is titled differently, is because So I'm trying to give everybody some time to think of their opinion and think of their feedback on the question. But I do want everyone to still participate on the question at hand. You know, why good godly men have stopped seeking potential wives. You know, and yeah. So if anyone is new in the live stream, either on YouTube or TikTok, you know, think about the question, and give me your feedback. Give me your personal opinion from personal experience. I already gave mine earlier, like a handful of times. So I have my reasons of why, but white Christians have basically been called turbo Nazis for the last 10 years. That's funny. Oh my goodness. There's a few people in here, and I just want to say, just give me a quick hello, a quick hi, whatever. Just comment whatever you can, because there's no way there's you know, more than a handful of people here, and the only one interacting is Dead Twist. That just can't be. That just can't be. No offense, Dead Twist. I love your responses and your interaction, but there's no way there's like more than 5 people in here, and you're the only one who's able to like type something in live chat. Maybe, I guess. No, you don't have to. You don't have to. I actually prefer for you to continue to, like, you know, type something, because I'd rather have you be the only one to type something versus no one type something. But it just sometimes it's funny that I'll see a certain number, but like everybody will be quiet. And that's, you know, awkward. But anyways.
Well, we went to school and everything was fine. No, it wasn't fine when you went to school. You learned nothing but lies. You're buffoons. Because you're both going into the workplace thinking that it's, you want to go brag about what you do and what you make, when your main focus should be raising your kid and keeping away from the poison, the toxins. That is Big Brother. That is the lies of the education system, right? But now, of course, these people who are both going to work, sending their kids to school, are going, well, what are we going to do? We're going to take them out of the schools, and we're going to go to the school board meetings, and we're going to fight the stuff that they say. And then they're going to sit there and yell, and nothing's going to be done. They're going to continue with LGBTQ stuff. And then the parents are going to go, well, maybe we get them in a private school. Well, we can't really afford a private school. Well, we can't, I can't quit my job and raise the kid, right? Oh, well, here's your solution, right? Because you're so sick of the school system. Well, why don't you let artificial intelligence raise your kids? And this is what it looks like.
Everybody knows that technology is moving quickly and changing our world at an ever-accelerating pace, but our education system is not.
Learning to learn is probably the most important skill. You need new skills to be successful in school, work, and in life. And so creating a curriculum where students develop a love of learning is number one.
We need to rethink the education system to produce not just students who do rote memorization and answer multiple choice questions, but critical thinkers, problem solvers, students who have creativity, collaboration, and digital skills.
We see right now that around us, the competencies of the children in many countries are declining. What do we need to change? Really put the money in the first years. Research shows us that by the age of 2, already the ground is laid.
Our education system needs to prepare students for a world that is surrounded by technology. Every student should learn computer science.
Yeah, they're saying by the age of 2, the ground is already laid. That's a scary thought. It's a very scary thought. And but I have heard similar things in the past where, it really is at an early stage in a child's life where that sponge-like brain, captures so much information, so much knowledge, and that's why it's so important and crucial, to make sure that they're being fed the best information, the most fundamental information, right? That's where love and care also play a vital part in a child's upbringing, because if you do not handle your child in a emotional, spiritual, and healthy psychological way, then that's when you have emotionally weak people, psychologically hurt people, and so on and so forth. But yeah, like it's scary to think that's how early on the groundwork is laid in their brains. Yeah. And I believe in homeschooling big time. Like if I had children, I would have them like homeschool. Like if I had children of my own, that would be the route that I would take. I really would consider like homeschooling, just because it's that delicate and important to me to make sure that they are fed the necessary, the fundamental, and real, true, essential knowledge. Because a lot of, I'm a product of public school, right? And I can tell you, so much crap is put out in public school that is unnecessary. You know what I mean? And it's never changed. It's the way it is because no one has really stood up to it and said, hey, give these kids like actual proper like education, not this nonsense, but it is what it is.
Because no matter what field you want to go into, there's not a single area you can think of that is not being impacted in some fashion.
We have large amounts of data at our fingertips. So you need to understand how you take data and create views with it to make good decisions. Forecasting, outcomes, it may be finance, it may be projections. There are all kinds of different ways we would be applying large data sets to solving problems. So data analysis is really now a basic skill. Then there are AI skills that you need to start to understand.
AI is not just a technology. It's not something I choose to use or not to use. It will be in every part of our daily life. It will be in every company's life. So we need to be ready to understand it and use it. And to understand AI so far is not part of our formal training we get.
There's now many, many examples of research that show students learning the same thing with AI and learning it better than learning it without AI. The solution isn't just let the kid do all of their work with AI and just hand in, here's what AI said. You need actually a well thought out curriculum, a well thought out approach where students try their hand at something without AI and then try it with AI and critique what the AI did and learn from the mistakes of the AI. The beauty of AI is that it can also help teachers create individualized education programs for students. They're doing some of the most important work of raising our children, and they simply don't have enough hours in the day for all the things that the education system expects of them. But with additional training, AI can actually help with that. Reskilling is critical because most of today's workers are not familiar with these things. But when I think about reskilling, what I think about is the 1.5 billion students in our primary and secondary education system. Why don't we give them the important skills while they're in that system today?
Last year, we did a global survey that said 50% of students don't think a career in tech is for them and don't know where to start learning even if they're interested. So at IBM, we have made our Skills Build program available to high school students and college students and adult learners. It's free learning paired with digital credentials. Not everyone has the opportunity to go to formal schooling who is talented and capable and interested. And so we've really looked at skilling and tried to take that forward.
Education and lifelong learning is at the core of the prosperity of countries. We can see from research that 2/3 of the growth difference between countries comes.
So, and it starts with.
Yeah, so nice. Listen, man. I don't know if it's God moving me to say this again, but you know, I've been warning about certain things for the past couple of years, and I will continue to keep warning everybody. Listen, technically it's too late at this point. Like, technically it is. But still, I guess, you know, a bit of mitigation wouldn't hurt. You know, that's something that I learned at the airport. You know, mitigate. You know, cut down the possibilities of potential disasters as much as possible, right? So if you have pictures of your face on social media, take them down. And it's still something I have to do, and I've been kind of lazy about. But I know it is something that I have to do. Because the time is coming. The time is coming. I can almost feel it in my bones. AI software continues to you know, be better and be perfected on a matter of seconds, minutes, and days. And the more time passes, the more it's perfected and the more realistic it is. And I'll wrap things up with this, and I'll say, you know, protect yourself, protect your family, protect your loved ones. Take any pictures that has your faces on it off of social media, because the time is coming where people will be framed for crimes, and you know, there'll be deep fakes of people doing certain things, and there will be people whose livelihoods and reputations will be torn down because of AI deepfake technology. You know, there's going to be relationships ruined, marriages ruined, families torn apart, because of these like deepfake AI software technologies. And I can smell it. I can smell it from like a few miles away. Like, moving forward, it's going to happen. You know, there's going to be a news report. Oh, unexpected situation with the least suspected and unexpected individual who has never had any criminal record in the past. You know, visual footage has been discovered of this individual committing this crime or this act or whatever. And it's going to be like deepfake AI software technology, just framing people and destroying people's lives. So like I said, technically it's too late at this point, because I know most of our faces are online somewhere on some platform, whether it be social media or not. Yeah. And but again, you know, if it can still be mitigated as best as possible, then let's try to do that, and let's warn other people. Let's warn our family and friends, and as many people as we can. You know, because if there's still some chance, even the tiniest chance, to prevent something like that from happening, you know, then the better. But I can kind of almost feel it in my bones that technically it already is too late, and they've already gathered and saved our faces on some type of database, you know, to be able to use in the future. So it sucks. And in hindsight, you know, this is where in hindsight people like Akal were 1,000% right and correct. And they were spot on from the very beginning. Yeah, from the very beginning. Um, he was like, when social media first came out or had like a huge push on like Facebook or whatever, he was one of the few people who was like, I'm not putting my face out there. Are you kidding me? That's the dumbest thing you could do is put your face out there, and it slowly evolved into just the norm. It was a normal thing for anybody and everybody to just take pictures and post them, and they kind of just saw it as just something commonplace to do, and that has been part of the biggest downfall moving forward because of everything that I'm saying. And it's gonna suck, and it's gonna be sad. Again, there's gonna be, yeah, exactly, and it's gonna suck because a lot of families and a lot of people are gonna suffer because again they're gonna get framed, and I'll go as far as say we as a people will get framed eventually, for that's where you're gonna like see on the news, like, oh, so-called Christian individual committing this crime, and next thing you know, it's a deep fake. It's gonna happen. It's not too far away as people might think or assume. Oh yeah, definitely. Yep. And then they'll have AI to back things up with supposed true information and accurate information. Like, oh yes, it's confirmed that so and so, committed this act and this crime, da 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 da. And that's how easy and simple it is. That's how easy and simple it is, because everybody, believes AI to be always correct and always truthful, and it's all linked and it's all connected together. I mean, AI, deep fakes, holograms, fact checking, mainstream fact checking, right? Confirming things or not confirming things. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. There's ways out of that, sir. But anyways, I'm gonna start wrapping things up here because I'm gonna try to watch that movie, and hopefully, after watching it, give my 2 cents on it. And who knows? Maybe I might come back after watching it and give a review, even if it's like a short review or a short commentary on what I saw and if it was good, if it was worth the watch or whatever. And yeah, we'll see. But anyways, yeah, for those of you who were here up until now, hey, thanks for being here. Thanks for the support. Starting with Dead Twist and ending with Opal. And I know Runner was here. I know Opal was here at some point, and a few other. Oh, that Brother Red was here for a while too. And then anybody else who was here who didn't say anything, thanks for being here. It's always weird to me, but I still appreciate the support regardless. Anyways, God bless every single one of you. And hopefully I can come back after the movie and talk about it and, have other conversations about other stuff regarding just, general day-to-day topics here and there. But for those who participated, thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate it. So this has been Q from Vision Eye View TV. Until next time, peace out.